Hey, it's Mila. Welcome back to my channel.
I go around and I go around and I go around, I go around. I'm always out, I am always out, I am always out, I'm always out. I keep running so I don't have to go.
So as you can see through the title and through the little intro, today we're doing an updated physical TBR video. So I know a lot of people liked my old physical TBR video that I posted about a year ago. Maybe last, I want to say August that I posted it. So I figured, almost a year has passed. I've read a lot. Let's make an updated version. And I feel like I'm gonna do these every single year, kind of like my entire book collection video, because it does change every single year, and there's no point in making it in under a year. Yeah that's just, I don't know if that was making sense, but it makes sense to do the video every single year. So that's what we're doing today. If you're new here, my name is Mila. I make everything from college, lifestyle, and bookish type content. So if that sounds fun, definitely hit the subscribe button so you're updated every single time that I post, and leave a thumbs up if you enjoy bookish videos. Also, if you've read any of the books on this list, definitely let me know what you think of it down below. Please, spoiler free, because I haven't read any of these. Some of these I know what it's about, others I do not. So we'll discover them all together. I have no idea how many books I have here. I want to say, I think last time I did this video, it was 150. I have bought books since then, but I've also really restricted myself on buying books. So I feel like we're under 150. I'll say 130. I'll roughly ballpark it to 130. I feel like 130 is a very reasonable thing. Looking at all these piles, 150 seems reasonable, but 130 seems reasonable, but it's also a lot of books. Anyways, let's go right into looking at all these books. Go with this pile. So I have The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I know she came out with a new book, but I'm no, read The Guest List before getting her the book, because The Hunting Party I really liked. The Paris Apartment I did not like as much. So I was let's see how you feel about this, and based off of that, we're gonna see if we get another Lucy Foley book. I have Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter. This is just, it screams fall, so I have not read it yet, but this fall, I promise you will see this on my TBR and on my wrap up. This book, I'm trying to read her other series before getting to this one. I read Throttled. I have Collide somewhere around here. Anyways, The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I really need to get on top of reading Lauren Asher, because so many things are out and I have not read them. I have The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I read a book by them and I absolutely loved it. I didn't know what to expect, but I loved it. So definitely gotta get to that one soon. We have two Ali Hazelwood books. I have Love on the Brain, and then we have The Love Hypothesis somewhere here. I wanted to wait to read this until I read The Love Hypothesis. My friend has borrowed it for the past 2 years. She recently gave it back to me. So once I read The Love Hypothesis, I can read Love on the Brain. Love in a Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. I'll get to it. Ruthless Rivals by LJ Shen. I've never read anything by LJ Shen. I just feel I was never in the mood for this, but I do want to try to get to it this summer. Layla by Colleen Hoover. I kind of fell off the Colleen Hoover bandwagon, and then no one else was reading her, so it kind of wasn't really intrigued to do it, but definitely gotta read this book because I have it anyway. More Than Words, Mia Sheridan. This month I'm currently reading Archer's Voice. I read Most of All You. It's just, she's such a good author. I love her writing style, I love her characters, so I know I'm gonna like this. I just want to finish Archer's Voice first before getting to this. Secluded Cabin 6 by Lisa Unger. I do not know what it's about. All I know is that it's a thriller, and I think it gives summer thriller vibes, so I'll be disappointed in myself if I do not read it this summer. Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco. I feel I haven't read this because I love this series. It's the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I love our two main characters. I love Thomas Cresswell, and it's I don't want it to end, but I'm just read the book. So probably by the end of summer, I would have finished this series. I have The Game by Scott Kershaw. Don't know what it's about. I think I was just an Indigo. I saw it, I read the summary, and I was oh, it seems cool. Then I forgot that it existed. But I do want to read it. We have Fourth Wing and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I was gonna read this, but then I heard there was a third book coming out, so I want to wait until closer to when the third book comes out. I think it comes out end of 2024, so I'll probably start reading this in fall. so I can like just go through the entire trilogy. I have 2 Christmas books, so this is I'm sorry, how did So It's Christmas turn into This Is Us? So This Is Christmas by Tracy Andrean, and then The Love Wager by Holly Cassidy. Obviously not gonna read these until the holidays, but yeah, I think this year I'm not gonna buy any holiday books and just like go through the ones on my shelf, because I think I have like 4 that I haven't read, so that's like the perfect amount of holiday books. We'll see. Obviously it's probably gonna change, but that's the plan for now. The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. Then we also have House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. House of Salt and Sorrow, I really want to read it soon, because I know that people are saying that it's kind of a like 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, and I loved the Barbie adaptation of that. So you know what, probably if I finish all the books that I want to read this month, I might just pick that up. There's A Deadly Education by Naomi Novak, and I love books like this. Like I loved Ninth House. I love The Secret History. I currently like recently read The Atlas Six. Like these type of vibes I love, and I feel like I'm gonna finish the Atlas Six series this summer, and then I'll leave this series for the fall. Dark academia, magic, like low-key culty things. This is me. This is literally my shit. I love books like that. But yeah, like it's not the season, and while reading the Atlas Six, like that is my dark academia thing for the summer, then this is gonna be for the fall. I have a little series that I bought literally after watching Top Gun Maverick, and I just never got to it. This is like more army type romance things. You wouldn't think by the cover, but there's Stay With Me, Watch Over Me, and then Fall Into Me, all by Mila Gray. I feel like it seems like they're gonna be such fast reads, so I feel like when I go tanning, like these are the books that I'm gonna bring and just like go through them. I have the last book in 2 series, so The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This I'm probably gonna finish next month. Like I recently read The Hawthorne Legacy, and now it's like I just want to finish the series because it's so good. I want to see how it ends, how pieces are puzzled together. So this is definitely gonna be read by the end of summer. And then Obsidio, which is the 3rd book in the Illuminae files. The first book I absolutely loved. I think I read it for a reading vlog like about a year ago. The 2nd book wasn't super into it, so I feel like that's why I kind of put off the 3rd book. We'll see, because like it does have potential, this series, but I feel like the 2nd book kind of killed it for me. But we'll see what happens in the 3rd. But here I have the books of the Calloway Sisters series. So I hope you guys can see, because I don't know if there's like glare. Let's do it this way. So we have Hothouse Flower, Fuel the Fire, Long Way Down, and then Some Kind of Perfect. I'm filming a reading vlog for this series. By the time this comes out, I don't think it would be up. Like I don't have my posting calendar like memorized just yet, but should be coming out super soon, maybe like a week after this video comes out. So definitely get excited. There's like a bunch of little standalones, so I'm just gonna go picking them up. So Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I read Normal People, absolutely loved it. Just haven't had the chance to get to this book. And yes, the cover looks different because it's not the North American cover. I bought it when I was in Paris at that like the Shakespeare & Co. store. So UK cover. Oh my god, the sticker on it comes off. Thank god, because I hate when the stickers don't come off. Like this one it's like, I'm like, why? So the one by John Mars, I saw that it was a series on Netflix, so I was like, I want to read the book first. I haven't gotten to it, but I think that I'm going to read it soon so I can watch the series. And then we have Heartless and Powerless by Elsie Silver. I absolutely fell in love with Flawless, and I just want to devour this entire series. I have the 3rd book in the Palm South University, so Pledge by Candy Steiner. These are super fast reads. I recently read the 2nd book, so the series I definitely feel like I could finish by the end of the year. Here it is, Collided by Lauren Asher. Someone is mowing their lawn. I'm praying that we cannot hear. I'm like, sir, it's a Saturday. People say you don't have to read this before reading the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, but I still wanted to do it. So I have Caraval. This is not in order. Legendary, then Finale. I really hope you can see because it looks like super shiny through my camera. But yeah, this series, we'll get to it eventually. I have the 2nd book in the Brutal Birthright series. I think that's what it's called. Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. This is Nessa's book. I am so excited for this book. Good vibes. Okay, we have 2 Emily Henry books, so let's just go with that. There's Book Lovers and then Funny Story. I'm planning to read all of her books this summer. Like I read People We Meet on Vacation and Happy Place. I'm reading Beach Read this month. And then Probably I'll read one of these books in July, one in August, so I'm like up to date when her new book comes out next year. Here we have One by One by Ruth Ware. Obviously this is like snowy, so we're not reading this anytime soon. I have the last 2 books of the Addicted series. So we have Thrive and Addicted After All. Hopefully this entire series would be read by the end of summer. I have a little rom-com, so X's and O's by Amy Lee. I know this is like a 3-book, I think it's an interconnected standalone series, so I feel like I want to get the first book, read it. Like, even though I don't need to, I feel like in my head I have to read it that way. Like, I just work like that. So I feel like I'm probably gonna buy that book, read this, and read the last one, because the last one was also like super intrigued to read. Rouge by Mona Awad. I read Bunny by Mona Awad. I wanted to read her other books because I just loved everything about it. So yeah, I bought Rouge last fall, never read it, but this fall we're reading this book because I'm very intrigued by the premise of it. I have like the second book in a couple of series. So I loved Ninth House, as we like mentioned previously. Hellbent. I need to know what happens. Like, I read Ninth House when there wasn't even word that a second book was coming out, and I'm like, this is so unsatisfying. I don't know what the series is called, but I absolutely love the first book. No one talks about it. But we have When Night Breaks. I think the first book was When Dreams Descend. Fell in love with it. It was so good. I just never picked up the second book, but so excited to see how it ends because it ended on such a cliffhanger, the first book. Then I literally last night finished Dance of Thieves. So we have Vow of Thieves by Mary A. Pearson. I'm probably gonna pick this up next month just to like wrap up the series, close it up, and move on to other fantasy, because I hate being in the middle of like so many fantasy series. But then the problem is that I'm doing a reading vlog for fantasy series, so I'm literally in the middle of like 4 fantasy series right now. And then I'm gonna start reading Throne of Glass for another reading vlog. So I'm like, I just want to close series as fast as possible because like I like reading it together or like spaced out with maybe 1 book. So it's kind of like a flow, not like dragging it out. I'll see what I do. Like, for all we know, my month of July is gonna be like straight fantasy to finish all these series, but like we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know what the rest of the books for this series are, but I have Assassin's Blade right here, Sarah J. Maas. Oh, this is like not the same series, but I see that the ACOTAR series. So we have ACOTAR, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wing and Ruin. I have the small novella because I bought it in the box set. A Court of Frost and Starlight, and then A Court of Silver Flame. So for Sarah J. Maas, I said that I want to read her books in order. Like for Cassandra Clare, I did not do that. And I started with the Clockwork Angel, like that series, and I loved it so much. But then going and reading The Mortal Instruments, when she wrote that first, and then her second series was the Clockwork Angel series, I feel like the writing style, I didn't like how it was written. So I said for these big like fantasy series authors, I want to read the books in order that they publish them. Oh, speaking about Cassandra Clare, I have the books like right over here. So this is, I don't know the order of the series, but I know I want to read this, and I know that there's another series with the kids. Like, no, it's a series that comes right after chronologic wise, like timeline chronologic wise, after the Clockwork Angel series. So that series I want to read, and this series I want to read. So this is not in order, but we have Lady Midnight. Let's just like see how chunkier they get as you go on. Lord of Shadows. Okay. Chunkier. Queen of Air and Darkness. This is literally a weight at the gym. When am I gonna find the time? Who knows? But it's gonna happen. So this month I'm reading the first book in this little like duology type thing. So I'm reading, oh my god, I forgot what it's called, but the second book is Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey is a very like hit or miss author for me, so I was like, let's read this series, and based on that, let's see if we want to continue reading Tessa Bailey or she's just like not someone who is for me. The Real Deal by Lauren Blakely. I've had this on my shelf for so long. It's like, it seems like a very interesting summer romance. Just never picked it up, but this summer is the summer. I also have Things We Never Got Over. This like by Lucy Score. I've never read Lucy Score before, but I feel like this is like the best place to start because all of her books seem super interesting. I know people love them, and I'm like, just pick it up, just read it. Also, Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. So I read Twisted Hates last month, And it's like I don't want this series to end, but also I just like there's just something about Christian. So I don't know when I'm gonna read this, but like either July or August. But it's just, oh my god, it pains me that it's done. But then I know that her other series is gonna be just as good. I don't know if these characters pop up in that series, but yeah, it's like I want to read it, but I don't want it to end, you know? Yeah, that's where my head's at with that. Okay, we have two little fantasy series over here, so let's like go with that. We have by V. Schwab, A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and then A Conjuring of Light. This series sounds so promising. I just have not picked it up, but I'm like, finish your fantasy series before like starting more fantasy series. I also have Six of Crows and then Crooked Kingdom. So yeah, people say you don't have to read Shadow and Bone, but I feel like it was such a complex world that I wanted to read it first, and I thought I could watch the show, but then I know a couple of characters from this series and they pop up on the show, so I'm like, okay, well shit, like I need to read this duology before watching the show. Like I probably don't have to, but like for me personally, I want to. This is the Crave series. So I feel like this is just gonna be guilty pleasure reads. I feel like I'll start it in August and just binge it like August, September, October. So we have Crave by Tracy Wolff, Crush, which is book 2. Book 3 is Covet. I'm holding this so weirdly. Covet. And then the 4th book is Court. I got all of these on Book Outlet for maybe like $7. They have the last 2 books on Book Outlet, but I'm like, do I buy them now since it's on Book Outlet and I know this is like the cheapest price, or do I wait until I actually read it? Because I feel like I should wait until I actually start the series, but then also it's so cheap and Book Outlet is having a sale. So we'll see. We'll see what I decide to do. What do we have here? Okay, so 1,000 Miles by Bridget Morrissey. This just screams like summer romance. It's a road trip thing. I haven't read like a road trip vibe since I was like 16, so super excited to see where that takes us. Yeah, these are just like summer romances. So Something Wilder by Christina Lauren, and then Luck and Last Resorts by Sarah Gunder Ruiz. This I have to prioritize. Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. I make people read the triggers and they're like, Mila, like, do I need to bring you to a psych ward? I need to read this because my justification now is like, my friend Julie read this and she was like, it's really not that bad. But I can say more because I haven't experienced it. Like, it terrifies me, but I'm also super excited. But yeah, like Julie said, like, it seems scary, but it's like the romance makes sense. So I'm like, okay, good. And like, we do like the same type of books. I'm just very intrigued because if you have not read the triggers, it's unlike anything that I've ever read before. I'll just leave it at that. And I read the first book of the series back in June, absolutely fell in love, so I want to read the rest. A Touch of Darkness, A Touch of Malice, and A Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. This is like Hades and Persephone. I love ancient Greece things. Unless this takes a horrible turn, I'm gonna love the series. There's This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi and These Infinite Threads. Oh my god, I hate shiny book covers because with my ring light, it's like, I have to be like, I think it also revolves around like mythology of somewhere. I don't know. We'll get to it and we'll see. I have the second and third book in the Atlas 6 series, so The Atlas Paradox and The Atlas Complex by Olivia Blake. And then this little thriller, 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. Don't know what it's about, but it's a thriller. Oh, these are really rare. Okay, so I have more Throne of Glass books. Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. Empire of Storm, Sarah J. Maas. Air of Fire, Queen of Shadows. This terrifies me. Do we see how thick she is? Kingdom of Ash. I don't know when I'm gonna find the time to read this for a reading vlog, but I promise you guys, on December 31st, when I bring out all the books that I read in 2024, you will see this entire series and you will be proud of me. You'll be proud. There's Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Make It Sweet by, oh my god, my throat, by Kristen Callahan. I think I found out about this book through this Australian booktuber. I haven't seen her videos in a while, so I don't know if I unsubscribed or if she stopped. Excuse me, I feel something in the back of my throat, but I don't know what it is, and it's just making it hard to talk. I don't think I would have unsubscribed, but I have seen her videos in a while, so I don't know if I did actually unsubscribe, like accidentally, or if she just doesn't post anymore. But yeah, she was the only one who ever really talked about it, and it sounded intriguing, so I bought it, but I just never read it. But yeah, I gotta read it, and I gotta like see, like, is this girl doing okay? I need to read Mariana Zapata. Like, everyone has at this point. I just need to put this on my TBR and have this be the first book I read in July. Underlock, Mariana Zapata. It's a slow burn. I'm gonna love the slow burn. Why haven't I read it? The Love Hypothesis, Ali Hazelwood. I finally got this back after 2 years, so I can finally read it. This is 100% going on my July TBR, because I don't understand how badly I want to read it. Penelope Douglas, Birthday Girl. Probably also gonna put on my July TBR, because I've had this on my shelf for so long, and I'm like, girl, like, just read it. A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. A little thriller. I think this is the one where her dad's a serial killer. So that intrigued me. That got me hooked to like that. So super excited to see where this goes. The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. And also A Not So Me Cute by Megan Quinn. What's this? Okay, we have a Christmas romance. It Happened One Christmas by Chantal. Is she French? Because her name sounds really French. Chantal Guertin. I don't want to pronounce it in French because I don't know if she's French. So pronouncing it like Englishy. But yeah, her name sounds like really French, so I don't know, I gotta see where she's from. All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Kristen Lynn Herman. I think I remember this being like something Hunger Game-ish, so I'm like, girl, why have you not read it? Oh my god, this book, From Blood and Ash, I'm like, pick it up already, read it. It's literally been on my shelf for years. When I say years, I mean years. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. If We Were Villains by Emily Rio. These two I'm definitely leaving for the fall because it's more like fall vibe books. Too Late by Colleen Hoover. And then the end of the Devil's Night series. So the little novella Fire Night. And then this chunk of a book, Nightfall, which is Will's book. I'm not attached to these characters like I am to the Twisted series, but there's still something there, you know? And it's like, I don't want it to end, but also I'm like, okay, like, you've read one book every single year. Like, you started this in like, yeah, I've read one book every single year. I started in 2021. I'm like, just finish it. Just finish the book. Just finish it. My Dark Romeo by Parkrest Huntington. I think like a lot of people talked about this last summer. I haven't heard much, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I bought into the hype and I bought it. Just gotta read it now. All About for Christmas by Maggie Knox. Obviously not gonna read this until after my birthday in December. Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. And This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I read her books, like I read her 2 other books last summer. I'm definitely gonna be reading this summer. This had funny story, one of the only like summer books that I bought this year, because I do really want to get through my physical TBR. But if I read these, and a lot of them, maybe in August I will buy. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should read my other books, but like, we'll see. We'll see what I'm feeling. Things I Wanted to Say by Monica Murphy. I read A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, and I really liked it, so I wanted to like, get through the entire series. There's Cupid's Match by Lauren Palfreyman. Obviously, this I'm waiting for next February to read. Just Like Home, Sarah Gailey. I think I saw this. I don't know if this was a book of the month book, but I remember seeing it and I was like, oh, it seems interesting. I bought it. Literally don't know what it's about. But I think it's more horror than thriller. I don't think I've read like horror. But we'll see. Another Mariana Zapata book, From Lukov with Love. This one I know that I'm gonna love because I was a figure skater when I was younger. I really want to try to read her books in order. So I'm like, girl, you have to get onto that, because if not, From Lukov with Love, you're gonna read in like when you're 45 years old. We have Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and then Scarred. This I have to get to. Like, this has been on. I've wanted to read this for so long. I just never picked it up. And I'm like, no, like this needs to stop. You need to read this book. This month I'm reading The Cruel Prince for my little like fantasy reading vlog. And here I have The Wicked King, which is book 2, and Queen of Nothing, which is book 3 by Holly Black. These I feel like I want to read in the month of July to kind of like close off the series, because I know she's writing other things. So I do want to get to the other things, and I know a lot of people love the series. So I'm like, I need to understand the hype. I need to read it. I need to understand. I have a series by Tajan. Tajan is an author that I do want to get into because her books seem interesting. I've just never read anything by her. But here I have the Insider trilogy. So there's the Insiders, the Damaged, and then I also have The Revenge. This it seems like it's gonna be so good. I just need to sit down and pick up the books. And we're at the last pile. So I think this series, this duology is like witches and sororities. I could be completely wrong, but I think like that's what I remember. That's what like drew me to it. So there's The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Daniel Page. And then The Monarchs. Probably gonna read this like August, September, like beginning of fall. The Stolen Kingdom by Gillian Boehm. I also have the last book in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, As Good as the Dead, which probably gonna read this summer to close out the series and move on to other things. The Counselors by Jessica Goodman. It's giving summer camp thriller lifeguard. I was a lifeguard since I was like 16 years old. So I was like, I have to read this. Okay, this little series. I know the girl is from Toronto. I think the story takes place in Alaska, but the girl is from Toronto. So that's why I was like, oh my God, Canada. Like, that's why I love Carly Fortune, because she writes about places in Canada. But yeah, so I have the Simple Wild series by Kay Tucker. I read one book by Kay Tucker. I fell in love with it. Say You Swear. Like, the cover, you wouldn't think it's so good. Like, I didn't know what to expect, but I literally fell in love. It was one of the best things I ever read. So it's like, I want to read everything by Kay Tucker. So we have The Simple Wild, Wild at Heart, a small novella, Forever Wild, and then Running Wild. I really hope you guys can see and it's not like glary. Oh my God, I'm actually gonna cry if this falls over. Like, I literally have books all over me right now. I read The Sweetest Oblivion and I have the second two books here. Honestly, The Sweetest Oblivion I wasn't like super excited for. I'm like more excited for these two books. So there's The Maddest Obsession, which is the one I'm most excited to read, and then The Darkest Temptation. And our main character is called Mila, and I love that. I very rarely see my name in books. I think, was it in Flawless by Elsie Silver that I saw the name? We now need to check. I think it was in Flawless. Okay. The only two times I've seen my name in books is Wildfire, when in the epilogue you see them when they have kids, and Stassi and Nate's daughter is called Mila. And I'm like, yes, that's everything. That's literally everything. And then in Flawless, okay, maybe it's not Flawless. I think it might have been Most of All You, because I think a book that I read in the reading vlog where I read this, I saw my name pop up. But it's just, I love seeing my name in books, because like, I feel like you literally don't see my name anywhere. So when it comes up, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. That's thing, it's never been a main character. The only times I've seen it is when it's like the daughter's name, but it's not a main character. So now that Mila's a main character, I'm like, yes, I have to read it. I like, it's literally my name. Like, I have to read it. I have a duology by Chloe Gong. I do want to get into Chloe Gong because her fantasy seem like super intriguing. Oh, there is These Violent Delights, and then Our Violent Ends. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. Obviously, I'm gonna finish like the 10 billion fantasy series that I'm reading right now. Then we'll get to that. There is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. I'll get to it in the fall. Fingers crossed. And finally, Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco, which I'm pretty sure builds off of the, oh my God, what's it called? The one with the underworld and like Wrath. I don't know what it's called, but that series, I'm pretty sure it builds off of that. And that's it. Those are all the books on my physical TBR. My camera's like about to die, so I'll just put like the number of books in like either my title or in the thumbnail. So I guess it's like not really a guessing game because we do not know. I just don't have the time to count in case my camera dies. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books, like what you think about them. Obviously, please no spoilers. And I hope also that I could have like given you guys like more ideas on like, I don't want to say a book crack because I didn't read it, but like kind of like book cracks, you know what I mean? And yeah, so all my socials I link down below, my TikTok, Instagram, Goodreads. What else is down below? Yes, subscribe, leave a thumbs up. I'm sorry, whenever I see my camera flashing, I get so stressed and I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, everything is down below. Subscribe, thumbs up if you enjoyed. This summer we're doing 2 videos per week, sometimes maybe 3. Like, I'm really like on top of my posting. I had a little week where stuff happened in my personal life that I didn't really want to like sit down in front of a camera and post. But since I got out of that little rut, it's been getting better. I've been super motivated. Like, I'm treating this like it's an actual job, and I'm getting a lot of like YouTube work done. So I'm super happy about that. That means a lot of videos for you guys. So definitely, you know, like stick around so you guys can see all of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. So stay safe, protect your vibe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Bye, guys.